You see here, hi guys and gals. Well, I'm out geocaching and taking a little walk. You can see in the far off over there, there's the cathedral. So I'm in town. Let me see if I just put my finger on it. It should focus in on it. Yeah. There you are. There it is, just over there. And so, like I said, I'm just geocaching, walking along, and I was almost going to say almost got the last one. What I mean by almost is that I have actually a sore back right now, and I just cannot climb where I have to climb to go get it. I saw it, and I know exactly where it is. So, and it does involve a little bit of if it was just a little bit of easy climbing, that's one thing. But it's climbing, and it's on a multi tree trunk thing. And there's a rope, but if you slip or anything, you fall right into a cliff. So I'm not doing that, not with a sore back. So let's try and walk around here. So I sent a message to the owner and I told him where it was and so on, and asked him if he'd let me claim it. I explained why. So, well, maybe, anyway. So I thought I'd chat a little bit. I've been thinking about my dad lately, because you know when you have photos on the Mac, you get memories that come up every now and then, and there was a whole series about my dad. I'm going to sneeze before long, I guess. Hope that everybody doesn't come and call the police. And yeah, so and there was my niece that saw a picture that I put up on the Eastern Townships page. Most of you wouldn't know about that, but it's a page on Facebook. And she asked me about the picture, because it was one that we took at the house when we lived in a town called Sutton. And my dad had asked the priest if we could go up into the church steeple, and we took pictures from there. And she noticed something about the houses, that they all had kind of like a little shed in between, usually a bigger garage and the main living quarters, and she asked me about that. So I told her that I would tell her a few stories about that, and she asked me if I was going to send them to them like a private message, and I thought to myself, well, why don't I make a vlog about it? So when we lived there, my dad used to use that little kind of mini garage shed type thing to do some work every now and then and store things. I'm kind of wondering if we didn't have our freezer in there. My mom will be able to fill me in on that one. But there was one time I remember he came in. We hadn't been living in that place very long, and all of a sudden he came in and he was white like a sheet. And we said, "What happened?" You know? And he said, somebody was shooting, and basically the bullet came right through the shed, and actually not very far from him. Now, did it come far from his head or what? I don't really know. He says it did, but of course, I mean, everything is relative when that happens to you. So what happens is that he did find out who it was. It was the neighbor who had been practicing his shooting. Had got a new gun, and I guess he was getting ready to go hunting or something. And he'd been shooting from his house, which was next to ours. The guy was an idiot, but anyway, luckily those neighbors moved, and we got some much better ones. So yeah, that was one story about there. I mean, about that shed, if I can call it that way. Here comes a bus. So let me see. He's going to let me go through. I'm going to stop and let him go through. He's bigger. Yeah. So just a minute. You would never know that that we had the COVID, would you? Anymore. I mean, the coronavirus thing people are getting a little bit too easygoing right now. Yeah, so second story on that is for some reason, I guess maybe because we had kept some, I don't know if we'd kept some vegetables or potatoes or something maybe in there. We had a problem at one point that we knew that some animals were getting into it. Now remember, what I'm talking about here is in the 60s. So if you're an animal protection person, stop listening right now. But in those days, my dad, he'd come from a farm, and we were talking about mentalities, you know, that go way back. I mean, way, way back. So he still had traps, because people, you know, in those days used to trap for rabbits and for furry animals and so on. And so he set up one of those traps in the shed to catch whatever it was. Now, don't ask me if it could have been a cat or something like that. Who knows? Well, no, you know what it was? It was a skunk. Yes, it was a skunk. And it hadn't quite died when my dad went in there and finished its job off, I guess, before finally giving off its last breath and last, I was going to say last stink bomb. Yeah. So you can imagine how the little shed smelled like for a while. Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of other stories around there. Because my dad was a man who would build a lot of things. And so, you know, like he built our swimming pool from an old silo. He next to it was a combine garage. You can look what it's like for threshing wheat and things like that. So my dad had one of those for a while, and he had a garage for it. And you know, he tried a lot of things. But anyway, this little vlog wasn't supposed to be very long. It was just meant to talk about something that my dad had done, and my niece was wondering about it. So I'll give her the link and she can listen to it. Okay, so I guess that'll be DC signing off. So just walking around town, and some people are, you know, just walking as well, but over there was a lot of people, and the restaurants have started opening again. So that, of course, does create confusion. You can be 4 people to a restaurant table and have the restaurant tables not too far one from another, and yet you can't meet with more than 5 people together outside without getting fined. So I mean, I wish they would get their act together. I mean, like one thing or the other, but you know, not both. Anyway, that is just the way it is right now. So but we're getting through there. I mean, we have just about no cases now, but we just cannot let go for the moment. But anyway, almost there. So I guess that'll be it for the moment now. I'll come back probably tomorrow, or no, what is today? Is Friday. Yeah, by the way, it was a day off today. Yeah, day after Ascension, and they gave it to us at work. So that's nice, wasn't it? Okay, everybody, DC signing off. Take care and have a great Friday. Bye-bye.